Hi YouTube, this is Darkon633 and we're back with another Transformers review. This time we're going to take a look at Kickback, which is the second of the third wave, I think, of the Legends from the Titan Returns line. And it's actually a pretty good figure overall, and it's really nice to finally see all three Insecticons make it into the new updated format. First, we're going to take a look at the box. The box has a picture of Kickback's Insecticon mode and his robot there. And he transforms actually in 9 steps, so it's actually pretty easy to transform. We're going to take a look at what he comes with. First, he comes with the card, so that's really cool. And that's about it. Unfortunately, once again, Hasbro has decided to miss out on the weapon, and although you could use a weapon from possibly another toy, it's still annoying to see that the weapons are indeed missing. We're going to take a look as a comparison with the other Insecticons. Here is Kickback alongside of his partners. Shrapnel from the Generations 3 and 30 line. Bombshell from the Combiner Wars line. And also Chop Chop from the Combiner Wars line. So it's nice to see the Insecticons finally together. Maybe one day we'll also see Barrage and the others, but it's still nice to see that at least the main 3 were fully made, finally, into Generations format. Now, one thing that does annoy me is Kickback actually maintains an actual design aspect that the original G1 toy had, and while it's not quite microman design, you can't exactly put in a Titan Master in his chest, and it's not prevalent on the other 2 designs. So that's kind of unfortunate that they didn't release them around the same time, because it would have been nice to actually see all 3 in one banner, and it'll be easier for them to release it. But it's still nice to see them all get updates in some shape or form. We're now going to take a look at Kickback more closely. Articulation-wise, the head can swivel 360. Can kind of look up and down due to the transformation joint. His back wings are articulated, although they're not on ball joints in 2 areas. They're only in ball joints in the actual connecting there, because the other one is just a ratchet. Though it's not a very strong ratchet, it is still technically a ratchet joint. He does have ball joints at the shoulders, but it gets kind of bumped to the back pieces on the back there. He does have a ball joint at the elbows, but no other articulation points there. He has no waist articulation, but he has ball joints in the hips, and pretty decent ball joints at the knees, which are extremely tight, and that's nice to see them actually have tight joints there. And his feet can pivot slightly, but that's really cheating because it is full-on transformation joint. And now we're going to take a look at his transformation. To transform, what we're going to do is pull down the legs. So now they will form the back legs of his Insecticon mode. We're going to turn the head around, and this will actually slide into the head compartment here for his Grasshopper mode. So it looks like this. What we're going to do next is unpeg the shoulders, and they will be freed. We're going to take this entire component here and just kind of let it sit. You do need to move things out of the way in order to make sure that you can get into here. We're going to turn these around. It's a little bit tricky to get into, but once you do, they should be able to go in like that. Do the same for the other side. And these down here will peg onto the back like this. So let's try to get this focused into the camera. So I'm going to do it from there. And they'll peg together. So now you got that done. We're going to make sure that these pieces just stay down. We're going to push these legs up. Get the wings out of the way in order to fully plug them out. Then take the wings and turn them around. And there we have Kickback in his Grasshopper mode. Now, this mode is actually pretty decent, actually. It has some weird kibble problems here and there, and many parts of the robot mode are exposed, and that's kind of weird, but I can understand why it ended up like that due to how simple the design is for Legends in general. You can open up the compartment here, and while you can still do it in robot mode, it's a little bit better to just do it this way in this mode, otherwise it'll just look kind of ridiculous. You can actually plug in a Titan Master if you wished into the piece here. They do use the same peg system as we see with some of the other Titan Returns figures. And now you got a Titan Master just sitting in the little compartment there. So that's cool that it is compatible. But overall, that's about it for looks of the actual mode. Articulation, it uses the same joints as we've seen in the robot mode, although there's a little less freedom because it no longer has the arms in any form. It really just has the front legs, which are not really articulated due to the way that the transformation is, and the wings are articulated. So that's about it what you're going to get with Kickback in his Grasshopper mode. Now we're just going to transform the other Insecticons off screen and take a comparison between the three now that they're finally together. And here is all three of the Insecticons in their beast mode. They do look really nice together, although all three have various different shades of purple, which can be a little bit alarming, especially when you looked at them side by side. But at least they are a very similar shade of purple that they look really nice in all three of the modes. It's still really nice that Hasbro finally released Kickback after all the years they've been constantly rumoring they will release the character, and it's really nice to finally get the three together. As a bonus, here is Chop Shop as well. And I guess it'll be nice now that they finished the three Insecticons, they can continue and make the rest of them. But overall, I think this is a really nice figure in general. Now, the figure is a little bit thin, and it can be a little bit problematic if you kind of play around with it a little bit too rough. But it's definitely not the worst figure I've seen out there. It's still kind of strange how long it took Hasbro to release all three of the Insecticons, and it would have been still really nice if they released them all under one line, because it just became a little bit of a hassle trying to finish off the line of the three Insecticons in general. Another thing is that I still wished all three had some sort of weapon. Now, while the Shrapnel actually had a gun that was to represent technically Reflector, it's not really his main gun, so it is a bit disappointing that we did not see a standard weapon for all three of the Insecticons. But if you're a fan of Kickback or just the Insecticons in general, then I highly recommend picking up Kickback if you happen to find one. I got this at BBTS along with the other two Legends in the wave, so you're probably best to look around possibly either Amazon, BBTS, Walmart, and a few other places, since from what I could tell, Targets are some of the hardest to find Transformers in general. So anyways, please comment, subscribe, and check out Hero Club and Hero Taku. Also check my Twitter under DarkCon633, and don't forget to check down the other channels down below. Please check the little bell at the bottom of the screen in order to see my content go up as soon as possible, and I'll be back with more Transformers reviews and more. But for now, I'll be seeing you later, YouTube. Bye.